Why waste time, Rabotai? Why waste time? Because what happens when you waste time? What happens when your mind is empty of Torah? Aside from what the Rambam says, that immorality comes to people that have a mind that's empty of Torah. But if a person lives a life without having Torah in their life, all of the mundane talk about politics, about business, about sports, about fashion, about everything else in the world, you literally can sum up in a matter of maybe a couple of conversations and there's no more to talk about without getting new information. And a couple of stories will give you an understanding. The hostages that Hashem Yachem were taken hostage by the monsters of Hamas on October 7th reported themselves saying that one of the most difficult things that they experienced while being hostages was the boredom, because they weren't allowed to do anything and they just wanted the time to pass. So what do? They literally, when they would get a bowl of rice, to finally eat, they would, to pass the time, they would eat 1 grain of rice at a time. 1 grain of rice at a time just to pass the time. I mean, some of these poor people were there for 100, 150 days. And they didn't have any Torah knowledge. They didn't have even a verse of Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, that you could recite in your mind and not only increase your merits, but you could delve into it and think of many other things from it. They didn't have a Mishnah from Masechet Avot, Torah Tzivalnu Moshe Morasha, Kilat Yaakov, what that means. How does the Torah transmit from Moshe Rabbeinu all the way to us? Moshe gave it to Yeshua, Yeshua gave it to the Skenim, Skenim gave it to the Nevi'im, Nevi'im gave it to Anshe Knesset Agdolah. They didn't have anything. They didn't have no knowledge of Torah, and therefore whatever mundane topics they studied, whether it be in school or in society or the news and everything, that all ran out within a matter of a day or two. And literally for the vast majority of time they had nothing to talk about. This is also most apparent with people age. As the Gemara itself says that when Chachamim age, they get older, they get sharper. Their bodies may give out, but their minds become sharper. A Chacham that studied Torah his whole life is much, much more sharp when he's 80 years old than when he was 20. On the other hand, people that don't learn Torah, as they age, they become more dull because their mind has not been utilized to the best ability throughout its life, and it becomes worse and worse. In fact, the worst thing that old people suffer is boredom. Rav Shalom Shwadron, alav Shalom, one of the most profound chachamim and speakers that we had in the most recent generation, said that one time when he came to the Bet Midrash, he told them, I just learned something while making Shalom Bayit. So what did the chacham make? What did he see? What did he do? He says, as I'm walking towards the Bet Midrash, I see that there is an old couple, maybe mid-70s, 80 years old, arguing at the bus stop. 38, 37, 38, 37, 38. You don't know what you're talking about. You're always pessimistic. You don't know how to count. You're forgetful. 37. You always exaggerate. You don't know what you're talking about. You always see things. 37, 38, 37, 38, back and forth. So immediately I say, what's going on here? I went over there and I say, Rabotai, can I help you with something? Oh, Rabbi, great that you're here. Baruch Hashem, maybe you can help us with this big problem that we have. Okay, what's the problem? He says, Rabbi, we're here. We don't have much to do, so we sit here, and we count how many buses pass. Now, my dear husband over here, he counted 37. And my dear wife over here, the husband says, she counted 38. But of course, she counted 38 because she always exaggerates. He only counted 37 because he's pessimistic and forgetful. He doesn't remember even anything of what he ate yesterday. So we want you, Rabbi, to tell us who's right. 37 or 38? Rav Shalom Shwadron, in his wisdom of Torah, says to them, you're both right. Huh? How can we both be right? Listen, you counted 37, he counted 38. That's because there's a double bus. That's a bus that's connected to another bus. You counted it as 1, and she counted it as 2. Oh, Chacham, wow, perfect, amazing, yes, you're absolutely right. May Hashem create more like you. Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. So Rav Shalom Shwadron says to us, yes, on one hand it's great, we make Shalom Bayit, but on the other hand, look at what happens to a person if he does not learn Torah. In his later years, he's not going to have anything else to talk about other than counting buses. This, Rabotai Karim, is why we say and emphasize every single week, doing TeShuva and learning Torah is not a gift you're giving anybody but yourself. Because all of the other information you're consuming, all of the other things that you're doing, every single one of them would lose its value shortly after you attained it. But the Torah that you attained, the Torah that you acquire only increases value over time. And that's why, on another end, when Rav Ephraim was young and he went to visit his uncle, his dear uncle that I've met several times at Tzaddik, Rav Moshe Atiyah. And he went to visit him for Shabbat. And he saw that after they finished praying the Arvit for Shabbat, there was one old man that stayed at the synagogue, got a Gemara, and sat down. And Rav Atiyah told young Rav Ephraim, and he told me, you see that man? He's not going to go home until he completes 7 or 8 dapim of the Gemara. Because even though Gemara itself says that you shouldn't delay doing Kiddush after completing prayer on Friday, he said, here, he made an agreement with his wife. Since he's older, and she's older, there's no kids or grandkids at their house. There's no reason to hurry up having the dinner at a specific time. And since he learned 7 dapim of Gemara every single day to complete the Shas once a year, and doing it in the morning or the afternoon on Friday is very difficult because it needs to help to prepare the house. So he does it before he comes home. So sometimes they'll have the Kiddush at 9 p.m., sometimes at 10 p.m., sometimes at 9:30. Depends on how difficult those 7 or 8 dapim that he does on that Friday night, because he's not just learning on Friday night. He's learning the whole week, but he has to complete his learning that Friday night. We see from here, this is a person that not only values his time, is very particular about how he uses it, but also as a person that has not lost his zeal, his purpose, and his excitement for life, because he still has Torah. He still has Torah. He doesn't have to count buses. He doesn't have to count grains of rice. He's continuing to develop his mind in his old age. And this, Rabotai Karim, is why when a person learns Torah and dedicates themselves to it, they'll know that the value is priceless. But then they'll also start to understand why the value of wasting your time on baseless conversations is also priceless, but on the negative end. So let's try to save our words only for purposeful things. Make sure to encourage others, like your kids or other people that want to say Divrei Torah, that we give them the time of day, we give them the opportunity and not discourage them. Know when to say I don't know when to say I have to go. And most importantly, know how to utilize our time. Thank you very much for learning with me. May Hashem bless each and every single one of you to have success in your learning Torah and to utilize your time in this world to maximize all the good that you do. Anyone that wants to donate and support the organization, support our marketing of the new film, Oregon News, or the AI Rabbi, can certainly donate at the website, be'ezrathashem.org. Some people have really taken it to heart that the opportunity to donate stock and Bitcoin or all types of other cryptocurrency, now you can do that officially on the website, be'ezrathashem.org. I believe we're the only one that I know of, at least, that can accept it as an organization. So that's certainly good for tax purposes. But most importantly, Rabotai Karim, when you donate to Bezrat Hashem, you know that you're donating to the right place because you see the track record, you see what's happening. You see the films, you see the posters, you see the books, you see the USBs, you see all the things that Baruch Hashem are happening, the poor people being fed. And this is why the people that have donated significantly to our organization over the years have received extraordinary miracles. Anytime somebody asks me, what can I do to get a big miracle? Now you have the answer because we've seen how many miracles were reported over the last few months of people that have donated. So anyone that wants to can donate at be'ezatashem.org, be'ezatashem.org. If you want to subscribe to the new AI Rabbi app to ask all your questions and get immediate answers, regardless of what the question is, so long as it's relevant to Torah or ideology of Torah, you could go to airabbi.org. And if you want to get some free books and some of these Asher Yatzar posted to distribute in your community, go to kiruvstore.org. All of it's free. All of it, Bezrat Hashem, will be sent out to you. B'cha b'atzlacha, and Bezrat Hashem will learn again later this week. Kol Tuv. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah, and could lead to Chilul Hashem, desecration of God's name. Stick to our holy Torah and our own holidays. That's the path of a true Jew.